Before we begin, I'd like to introduce the professional musicians that have taken their time to come in today to demonstrate New Orleans traditional jazz to you guys. On the alto saxophone, Mr. Kurt Ford. We're supposed to give him a round of applause. On the upright bass, Mr. Dewey Sampson. On the piano, Mr. John Brinson. Now, what we're going to do is give you a brief example of New Orleans traditional jazz and also demonstrate the instruments and the role that each instrument does with this music that we call traditional jazz. What instrument do I have in my hand? Clarinet. What instrument does Mr. Kurt is holding? Saxophone. What kind of saxophone?
Alto saxophone.
Alto saxophone. Good. Now, what is this?
Upright bass.
Upright bass. Good, good. Obviously, it's a piano, correct?
Yes.
Drum set. And Mr. G is holding a what? Trombone. And that is a? A what? Sousaphone. Sousaphone. Not a tuba phone, but sousaphone. Okay? All right. We are all professional musicians, okay? They don't know what I'm about to say. They don't know what tune I'm about to call. It's because they're professionals. All I'm going to do is say, we're going to play this number, and 1, 2, ready, play. It's because they are professionals. And then we're going to explain why. Back home again in Indiana, key of F, last 8. It's all about using the ears, guys. All about using the ears. Remember what we talked about the past 3 weeks about practice, practice, practice. Practice does what? Right, right. And eventually, some of you guys, it may be kind of hard at first, but the more you practice, the easier it gets, right? What we're going to talk about right now is improvisation. Okay, what we're going to do, I'm going to select a song. Nobody knows what I'm going to call, all right? But I definitely have to give the key signature. What is the key signature? Tells us what? Who can answer that?
It's 4 counts in each measure.
Okay, that's close, but that's time signature. Now, key signature tells us if we're playing sharps or flats, right? Or what scale. If it's a B flat, if it's the C, and so on, and so on, and so on. Okay, so you always have to know that first. Sometimes when you're dealing with professional musicians like what we have up here, I don't even have to say what key. I can call any number. I wouldn't even call the number. I could just start playing, but they can hear it. Okay? So, without further ado, what I'm going to do, Mr. Thomas is going to start off, and along with Mr. Brinson, he's going to play Basin Street Blues. Okay? Then, the bass is going to come in, followed behind that, the trombone is going to come in, and he's going to play the roots of the chords. We're going to talk about that in a minute. What are chords? So, and then after that, I'm going to come in on the third chorus, and I'm going to harmonize with the trumpet. Meaning he's going to play one note, and I'm going to play another note on top of him. Like some of you guys, when you're looking at your music right now, they're stacked. You remember when you look at your music, right? You have 2 or 3 notes on your music in each measure, right? Huh? Yes. Those are called chords, okay? So what we're going to do right now, the Basin Street Blues. now we're going to talk about improvising, ad-libbing, and also vocals and call and response. Now, this is an example of call and response. Mr. Thomas is going to play the intro. Play the intro for us, please. That's the call. And then the response is... Okay, ad-lib. As the band plays a chorus, I am going to vocalize. I'm going to sing while he plays in the gap. It's also called the window open. If you open up a window, you let the air in. Okay, when I sing, he's going to play in the gaps while the window is open. One chorus. Basic string. Street blues. All right. Oh, one person liked it. Right. Okay, now what we're gonna show for you guys now is how we improvise. Okay, so we've already selected the song. We played the chorus, all right? We played the melody. Now it's time for us to take a ride. In other words, solo. Improvise. What does improvise mean? Hey, John?
Do something out of time.
Hmm?
Do something out of time.
Out of what?
Do something out of time.
Out of tune. Close. Kevon?
Make it up as the way you go.
Make it up as you go along. Okay? All right? You got that? Huh? You understand? Improvise, right? Okay, so here we go. One chorus.
It's like a freestyle?
Freestyle, somewhat, but it's your own imagination. It's what you feel, what you want to play, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to play the chorus one time, all right? And then Mr. G is going to take a ride, a solo. He's going to improvise. And then Mr. Thomas is going to take a ride or improvise. I'm going to take a ride, improvise. Mr. Kirk is going to take a ride, improvise. Mr. Brinson, followed by Mr. Sampson. Here, you notice the trumpet carried the melody, and the trumpet, what we talked about earlier, the trumpet is who? Drew Brees, right? Without the trumpet, there's no melody, right? Huh? So our trumpet players, you have to learn the melodies. You gotta know the melodies. Now, let's talk about the bass. What is his role? He plays the chords. He is the bottom. He is the foundation. Just like a house has a foundation, he is the foundation of the piece. He is the sousaphone. He is the tuba. Without the bass, there's no foundation. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? The drums. What is his role? The beat? Huh? Keeping what? Tempo. Keeping the time. Without the time, what? It's going to be total chaos, right? The piano. What is his role? He's playing what we call chords, all right? For example, he's going to demonstrate to you guys right now a C chord, starting with the 1, the 3rd, and the 5th. 1, 3, 5, and then when he plays all 3 of them together, it sounds like this. So, you guys, trombones, trumpets, clarinets, when you look at those notes, when they're stacked in each measure, somebody's playing the bottom note, correct? Someone's playing the 2nd note, and someone's playing the top note. And that's what it's going to sound like. Mr. Brinson, play that try it one more time, please. Okay, you got that? So when you guys are playing songs like what? Torture, The Rain, all these songs have chords in them. Now, what we're going to do, this is called a barn burner. What is a barn burner? Very quick song. Very fast. Very fast. I'm not going to say what the song is. I'm just going to start it off. Song. Sweet Georgia Brown. How many of you guys ever watched the Harlem Globetrotters? Huh? That's their theme song. So what is the theme song for the Harlem Globetrotters?
Sweet Georgia.
Sweet Georgia Brown. You notice the drums kept the time, and you notice he took a solo, right? He didn't know that was coming, but he's a professional. All he had to do was just keep his eyes and ears open and follow. And that's what you guys should do as well in a band. One band, what? One sound. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What we're going to discuss right now is the jazz funeral and the brass band. How many of you guys ever heard a brass band before? How many of you guys are familiar with a brass band? Not that many? Okay, brass bands consist of a sousaphone player, a clarinet, trumpet, alto, and drums, a snare drum and a bass drum. Now, what they normally do, they play for weddings, they play for funerals. Now, what is the role of a jazz funeral brass band? The band leads the hearse. Y'all know what a hearse is, right?
Yes.
The casket. It leads the casket to the cemetery. And the brass band is going to play a slow dirge. Anybody knows what a dirge is? It is a slow spiritual song. And then what we do, we celebrate the life of the dearly departed with a upbeat tune, okay? Something that brings the spirit to life. All the great things that that person lived, okay? Time? Huh? Okay, so what is the moral of all of this? Huh? One band, one sound, right? But how did you, who can answer this question? How did these musicians get to this point?
Practice.
Right. Practice makes what?
Perfect.
And guys, the benefits of being a musician, it's infinite. It's infinite, meaning that, I mean, you can have the world playing music. Just seeing the smiles on the faces that you perform in front of. I work every night. All of these guys work every night. And we work in front of people that we don't know, that travel to New Orleans every day from around the world. And they come up to me. As a matter of fact, last night, a lady came to me from Barcelona, and she said, that beautiful ballad you played put me in tears because it reminded me of my father. And it feels so great to me that I've touched a soul like that. You guys can do the same. We're not saying that you guys are going to major in music. We're not saying that you guys are going to become professional musicians like us. But the choice is yours. It's there if you want it. We travel all over the place. I travel so much, I get tired of traveling. You know? Mr. Thomas, you just came back, what, a couple of hours ago from Atlanta? You know, so, you know, these guys been all over the world. Mr. Brinson been to Russia, Germany. Where else you been to, Mr. Brinson? All over the world. And we don't pay to travel. They pay us. You can do the same. You can do the same. And this is something that we enjoy doing, playing music. It's not a normal 9-to-5 job where you gotta clock in and somebody's looking over your shoulder. No, everybody's having a grand old time. You guys being in the marching band, you guys being in the concert band, you're gonna be able to travel. You performed for your people before. You saw the smiles on their faces when you guys marching in the parades. You saw the smiles on their faces. You saw the joy that you gave them when you was marching in that uniform. But it took dedication, commitment, a lot of hard work, which is what you guys are doing right now. So if you guys want to continue to being the best, or one of the best middle school bands in the city, we're going to have to continue doing what? Practicing. Because you guys have been considered one of the best middle schools in the city. We have reached another bar. So now, when school starts, they're going to expect a higher bar, a higher level. And with this, the world is yours. We went to Six Flags this year, right? Some of us. Okay? We can do it again. And again. Out of trouble. And again. Focus, practice. We're going to be fine. Right?
Yes.
Can you hear you?
Yes, sir.
One band.
One sound.
One band.
One sound.
One band.
One sound.
All right, guys. Go back to practice. Strap up. 1. So